Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome back to Femme Tarot. I'm Natalie, your international psychic medium and energy reader. How is everyone doing today? I'm super excited, as you can tell from my energy. I'm very excited because I've got a very special guest today. And I've got a lot of questions. We have a lot of things to talk about. And obviously, you guys in the chat, you can ask her anything. She's very open. She has very calming, incredible energy. You will love her. I know that because I know how you guys are. So how is everyone? Before I bring her on, I'll just wait a little bit for more femmies and other people to come in. I would just want to say hello to Lady. Happy Friday to you too. Hi, Glenda. Hello. So many people. Danny. Hey. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. What a great way to start the weekend, right? It's us. We're among family. We've got an amazing guest. I'm excited. Happy Friday to you too, Romo. Oh, you guys. Oh, Aries Moon. Love you too. All right, we have a lot to talk about, and it's not just tarot, guys. We're going to be talking about divination and all of it because my guest, Toni Savory, is coming on in just a minute. I'll bring her up. All right. And she is the divination expert. She also founded the World Divination Association. And I've got to say, you guys, I've been honored. And I feel not only do I feel honored, but I feel blessed because Toni asked me and invited me to come on next weekend, specifically next Sunday, to talk about, well, I'll be talking about tarot and how you can connect, how you can sharpen your mediumship skills using tarot. So that's an interesting one. I do highly recommend you guys. I have added the links down below. I have links on my Instagram. Obviously, you will have to go, and you will, and I know it, follow Toni as well on all social media platforms, along with her website, which is the World Divination Association, and that's where you'll get your tickets. But everything has been linked down below in the description box. But I do not want to say anything further because I will let Toni tell you more. Hello, and welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much for having me on. First and foremost, I want to say hello to my lovely partner who is in the chat, Jane. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Vanessa. Thank you for joining in. Yes, I'm here to talk about all things divination.
Our favorite topic, right? Because we love talking about divination, right? Let's start. So, Toni, first of all, I want to say that Toni is the expert on everything divination, but she's also an expert on Kipper and Lenormand and tarot, obviously. But those two systems are not that popular or not that well known, shall we say, and they're very different to tarot. Lenormand and Kipper are similar in a sense in the way you read them and in the way that those cards are very direct. They're very blunt with their messages. There is no symbolism per se there like tarot, where you have different, you use numerology, you use symbolism, you use your intuition. With Kipper and Lenormand is a bit different. But I want you, Toni, to explain to everyone what are the differences in the systems and why did you, because you've written a book, before you start, I want to bring it up. So you've written a book and it's called The Card Geek's Guide to Kipper Cards. And actually, Toni is the first one who's actually brought the Kipper system into the English language, English speaking community, because it's based in Bavaria, if I'm not mistaken, right? From Germany. Right. And you lived in Germany as well. I lived in Austria. So you speak German, right, Toni?
I do.
Ja, ich spreche auch Deutsch.
Ja, wir können das auch auf Deutsch machen.
Nein, danke. Again, if you want to, but so yeah, that's her book. And so please tell everyone, what are the differences, what are the differences in the systems, what made you write a book and talk about, because there's a wealth of information on your YouTube channel and your website as well.
Yes.
I'll let
Well,
you talk now.
I was first and foremost a tarot reader. I'd read tarot from being quite young. Went all through the tarot phases that you go through, and then Lenormand kind of fell upon my lap. But I think once you start with one system, I mean, I was using pendulums and going to spiritualist churches and doing all the psychic medium stuff to build yourself up in my teens, going through to my 20s. And then Lenormand dropped on my lap with a deck of Gypsy Witch, which is slightly different as well.
Yeah.
A slightly different system. So when Lenormand fell on my lap, I read everything that was out there that was available, and it wasn't the days of YouTube. We didn't have videos to watch or anything like that. We had books to buy. And then in 2006 I moved to Germany, and I obviously, when you are a divination person, you will come into contact because these people get sent to us anyway. So I was blessed with generational readers of Lenormand. But I was talking to Jane today about it, and although I read Lenormand for all those years, it never became my main go-to. It never became a part of me. And then in 2006, 2007, I ordered a German deck because the Lenormand is actually a German deck. And the original instructions from the German deck, I started reading them. And I realized that all the information that was out there about them in the English speaking world was actually very different from how they originated and the reading system behind them of how they originated. So I kind of made it my own through those original instructions. And that's when Kipper came in, because obviously Kipper is also a German deck. So I did the same. I got the original early decks, the 19th and 20th century decks, and looked at those original instructions and went from there. And I again found the reading style between Germany and the English speaking world was totally different. Somehow the instructions from those early decks had been translated, and something had the core of those systems had been lost in that translation. So that's why I started, really, it was almost like campaigning. I was campaigning to show everybody what Lenormand can do and what Kipper can do. And what can they do? They are excellent decks for everyday life. When querents come to me, they are asking about their life. They're asking about their finances. They're asking about whether their partner is cheating, you know, all these nitty gritty, awful things. And I find personally that when you lay a Lenormand or a Kipper GT, there's no getting it wrong. There is no looking at it and saying, ooh, this could be something else, because it hits you in the face like a ton of bricks. So, you know, they are super, super amazing practical decks. The difference between the two of them is that Kipper is a situational deck, which means that every image on the Kipper cards shows a situation in your life. And it's almost like a movie board. When you add them all together, they're telling the story, that movie of what's happening. Whereas the Lenormand is an emblematic deck. So it has emblems on it. And notice I'm using the word emblem rather than the word symbol, because when we see a symbol, we interpret it or translate it as what that symbol means to us. But the emblems in the Lenormand cards have very strict meanings.
True.
So the difference between the two is the reading style of seeing situations versus seeing emblems.
Right.
But they also have, Kipper has a strength in interpersonal relationships because you have a lot of people cards in there. Like La Vira Sibilla, which is another system that is heavy on people. So if you want to see what's going on in a workplace dynamic or in a relationship dynamic, then you want to be looking at those Kipper cards because they will spell it out to you. Whereas Lenormand, out of the two, is a little bit softer, even though it still punches you in the face. It's a little bit softer read than the Kipper cards are.
It's true. I want to say me being using tarot more so for just like sharpening my psychic abilities, if you will. I find that with Lenormand and Kipper, there's no room. It's just like boom, the message, what they're trying to tell you, it's right there. There is no, but what if, let me just pull some more cards and see. It doesn't work that way at all. Whereas with tarot, obviously it's storytelling as well, but it's a different type of storytelling. And with tarot, actually, it's great for self-development, etc. Whereas Kipper and Lenormand are not for self-development, everyone. Okay. It's more so.
I would argue that point.
Please do.
And I would say they are perfect for it when you need a kick up the butt. Because sometimes we really need a kick up the butt. And if I'm reading for myself, I'm going to use Lenormand. I'm going to use Kipper because I know I'll get the truth of the matter with no flowery words attached to it. And I get that kick up the butt that's required at that time.
That's a good point. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because you can't hide. You can't hide from that. Generally, which type of readings do you normally is it depending on the querent, or do you pick the spread or the cards or the system that you're going to use in a reading depending on what the querent wants? Or is it intuitive, or is it depending on the questions?
When a client comes for a read, we talk for a short while.
Yeah.
And in that period of talking, I am choosing the system that I'm going to read with. And it's generally dependent upon the question asked. If it's a heavy work-based read, I would choose Kipper over any other deck. And obviously I do read tarot, and I can read tarot day and night. But if I'm looking for financials, work, etc., then I would use the Kipper deck. I have people coming for pure financial reads, and that's the best deck for it. But then if it is a relationship read or something just involving two people, I would go for the Lenormand. And I use them interchangeably, so I could use either and come out with the read that's required. It's just sometimes I feel Lenormand is more appropriate than Kipper.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And how would you describe the process when you're interpreting sort of like an ambiguous reading? Not with Kipper or Lenormand, we're talking tarot now, or any other system aside from those two. How do you go about generally interpreting an ambiguous or complex reading or a complex situation? I love asking readers that, because everyone works differently.
Can I just say hello to Garth, Debbie,
course.
Sue Wilkinson? Thank you. Love you. Well, what kind of reading can be ambiguous when you're the reader that's driving the questions? If there is a situation that had gray areas, then the cards would show me that there's gray areas. If there's something with cheating, etc., it's plain to see in the cards if it's tarot, if it's any others. So I wouldn't say any reading was ambiguous as long as you are in control of that read.
That's true. And I just want to just specify when I mean ambiguous, I mean in situations where someone comes to you and they're like, Toni, I'm lost. I feel lost. I feel blocked. There's something blocking me. And you're just pulling the cards and you're seeing there's various things, different things happening, but sometimes you cannot pinpoint exactly.
Well, I would say that if you use tableau style reading, including with tarot, there won't be that ambiguity. It's very clear to see what an issue is, and it's very clear to understand the thoughts, the feelings of the person that's involved, because that's your placements within a tableau style reading. I am actually writing a book on tarot tableau, which is coming out with Red Feather in March. I do have others as well up here, which I haven't shared yet.
You have to share them with everyone.
I've written a few books. I've been lucky enough to write for a few publishers. I have The Rainbow Kipper with Red Feather. I have Siren's Song, which is Lenormand and Kipper combined. That's with Wiser Books. I wrote the handbook for Chiro Machetti's Lustrous Lenormand. And I have books that I've written through World Divination as well.
Jane says Kipper is great for finding lost objects.
Well, that's because Jane always loses stuff. And the first question is, get your Kipper deck out. She was in Ireland at the time, and I was in Germany, and she called me and said, I think it was a keys or something. I can't find them. So I laid 3 Kipper cards is all it takes. And I says, they're under something in the living room. And it was on a sofa, I think. I can't really remember the details. But Kipper for location is amazing.
See, you can use the decks and the cards for everything and anything, as long as you know how to work with the cards. That's very important. Now, I want to move a little bit towards the direction of, since we are on the topic of Kipper cards and divination and all of that, what made you start the World Divination Association? Because it's grown a lot. You're bringing together readers and people from all over the world, and you are giving a platform not only for the readers, but for people who want to learn too. And it's incredible the work that you've done.
Honestly, I have shared this with a lot of people. The World Divination started out of a place of depression. I was really, really struggling, and I didn't have a place for me in the divination world, because I like to research things. I like to look back to those old ways and read in that way. And when I came on the scene, it wasn't really welcomed, because it was seen as kind of fuddy-duddy reading. Do you know what I mean? Behind the times, but actually the application of the old ways. So when I'd go in a Lenormand group and post a reading, I get comments on it saying, well, that's not the meaning. And I've got the original meanings in front of me, and I'm thinking, well, it is the meaning. So I just started a group on Facebook for people like me who wanted to go back to basics, learn the basics, bottom line of what that system began as, so then I could create my own way of reading with it. So we started as a group, and all I wanted was a safe place for diviners, a place where there was no judgment, a place where everybody was supporting of one another, but also a place where we can all rise together. So rather than this divided attitude of intuitive readers can't read or system readers can't read, it's actually creating what I wanted was to create somewhere where we could all share each other's stuff. Hi Glenda, thank you. So that we could share each other's stuff. So if my friend reading is doing something, I'll share it and I'll say, that's great, magic. I'm so happy for you. Whereas I found when I first came to the divination world that it was kind of divided. And people laugh when we talk about the Lenormand Wars, because that's what it felt like on Facebook. It was just wars of people going at each other from one system of reading to another system of reading and really going head to head. And I thought, I don't want that. I want us all to come together, which is why at the conferences, I invite everybody. Our conferences are not small. We don't just have 5 people speaking and then we're done. We have this time, I think we have 25 speakers, and we go absolutely mental from morning till night, just with one person after the other with divination techniques. But we're all sharing, we're all celebrating. So that's a long way of saying I just wanted a place to belong. And I wanted to find people who were like me and who wanted to read in a similar kind of relaxed atmosphere.
And not only did you create a place where you belong, you create a place where a lot of people are now, they're finding their place in the world, right? Because years ago, there was nowhere for us, exactly what you said. There was nowhere for us. There was, even though we had internet and social media and Facebook since 2007, so it has been around since 2005, actually, not 7. Sorry,
well, 2007 was when I got my first iPhone.
Really? 2007 is when I first.
That's the first iPhone that came out, 2007.
I remember 2007 because that's when I signed up on Facebook, and it was fairly new. I was the only one. So I didn't have any friends, and I was like befriending other strangers, and I was like, will you be my friend? I don't have any because my friends weren't. And how the world has changed, not only for us, okay, but it's changed for everyone. It's made divination accessible to everyone. And people are afraid of AI. So there's a lot of this debate and controversy around AI and technology and how fast technology is moving. I'm one of those who I'm a proponent of technology and AI. I'm saying, listen, why are we afraid of this? It's actually making our life easier and better. And there's so much potential to it, as long as obviously there are rules and we work with technology in an ethical way. But the same applies with divination. You have to be ethical. You have to work in an ethical way. Now, how do you see it? How do you see now? I feel that the younger generation now are more and more people are getting into this, into divination, and for 2 reasons. A, because they want to know what the future looks like, or they feel they want to control what their life is like or where it's heading. And B, because they want to learn how to read for themselves or read for others. But the fact that technology has made us, and social media has made us, the readers, more accessible to everyone, has also created other issues. For instance, having readers that are unethical, or you have a lot of scammers, etc. But how do you see it? How do you see that this ancient mystical practice, which is divination, is now merging with technology? Because now we have apps on our phones where you can actually give yourself a reading and you get all the meanings. You have AI that will actually kind of like customize the meanings of the cards according to your question and you. How do you see all that? How do you see?
Well, I would say there is a flip side to AI. The most important detail about AI is AI decks and artwork being taken as somebody's own, created with AI. And I feel, especially having worked with Ciro Marchetti, and work with other artists, I really strongly feel that It's a shame. It is doing a lot of artists out of business because obviously it's a lot cheaper to do an AI deck than it is actually commission an artist. So I would say that's the negative side of it. And it personally affects me because it personally affects friends. The good side of technology is that we do have it at our fingertips. I created an app when I first did the Card Geek's Guide to Kipper. It's no longer available because I couldn't keep the development up on it. Too many fingers in too many pies at the time. But I have a tarot app that I will use on my phone, and I love it. And on top of that, Jane and I actually do reel divination. So, you know, like Instagram reels and Facebook reels, you ask a question and then you say, answer it in 3 reels. And you flick through the reels 3 times to get your answer to the question that you've asked. So I do think just like we can use the environment around us, you can use at any time, whether it be a sound, whether it be a feeling, whether it be birds flying suddenly, you can use the environment around you. You can also use tech. It's no different to your lights flickering, you know, and spirits around. Debbie, you've still got the app. Wow.
What's the app? Tell us, Toni.
It's not available anymore.
Oh.
Wait a second, I've got it here.
You've got to show us.
If I can open it. This is a piece of tech divination history. I created. Oh, it's not going to open, is it? No, it's not going to open.
Oh, what a shame.
I need to do an update. But I created an app to read Kipper cards. It just had my Kipper deck on there in the images, and it had the Kipper spreads, which are slightly different to any other spreads. So it had those on there, and I used to use that all the time until it kind of didn't work anymore. So I think there's amazing, and I am always open to tech in any way. I've always been obsessed with what we can do in that matter. But it, like I say, with artists, it is a kick in the teeth. And I think it would be nice if when AI decks were printed, if it stated that they were AI, if there was some kind of regulation on using an AI for books as well, if there's a regulation on that, because it also takes away the voice of somebody who is writing a book, for example. So when you read my books, it's got a lot of me in there because that's how I talk. I kind of write books from the heart, try and channel as I'm writing. So I think AI takes a little bit of that away as well.
By the way, I also have a tarot app on my phone, and when I'm on the go, I use it. I use it, everyone, because
it
works. Yeah,
daily.
It works.
Yes.
It works. It's the same way. You're still communicating to spirit. You're still communicating to your higher self.
Absolutely.
It's just a different tool. It's just
why would it be any different than shuffling the cards? Because it is a random process.
I agree 100%. And to add to your point about the artists and the illustrators of cards, I want to say also, when cards decks are created by AI, there's a different kind of, me being the energy witch here, the energy reader, it's different energy because cards carry energy of their creators, full stop.
It's the same as buying a deck from Temu that's
I agree. Because I've heard readers to say, I don't mind, I don't mind if it's like if it's like a dupe, if it's a counterfeit or whatever it is. And I always say, I mind. It's different. It's very different. It has nothing to do with
the quality is way poorer anyway.
It is way poorer, but also I just want the creator's energy on the decks. I'm holding my Kipper deck here. Oh, there it is. I have it right in front of me. But yeah, so I agree with technology helping actually. But here's the thing. Now with social media, we have a surge of new readers. When you go on TikTok, are you on TikTok, Toni? I didn't check.
I don't really do TikTok.
Well,
I'm TikTok. I'm a bit reserved when it comes to TikTok.
I know. I'm on TikTok. I'm just basically sort of like repurposing videos from
Mm.
YouTube because I'm like, I don't know. I can't find my footing on TikTok. I
I
don't
think
want
the
to.
difficulty is you. I mean, I choose. You have to choose what you're going to put your energy into, and
Yeah,
when you are working for yourself, you only have a certain number of hours a day, and a lot of my day is taken up with admin or marketing or
true,
the
true.
conference and stuff. So even if I get a chance to post on Instagram, then I'm lucky because I've had that moment in the day.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
usually I'm focused on Facebook first and foremost because that's where I've grown the groups. But Instagram comes a very sore second, and YouTube at the minute I've not had time for. But my YouTube channel has hundreds of videos on there when I
Yeah.
was, putting that energy in. But there's certain times, I always say it's swings and roundabouts. Sometimes you're going in a swing, sometimes you're going on a roundabout, and you just have to figure on that day what you can fit in.
I
Especially having
agree.
kids as well in the mix.
Oh yeah, because things happen, as we all know.
Hmm.
Things happen, and then your
All
whole
the
schedule
time.
all the time. We were talking because everyone here on my channel knows that the issues that my son Leon is going through at school with bullying and stuff. And Toni has been so supportive with throughout these past 2 weeks with everything that's been going on. um it's a lot. Sometimes you're like, oh my god, so you have to say, oh, my family comes first, but then you have clients,
Well, I
or
told
then
you I had a similar thing with my son Nate
yes, yeah,
at school in Germany when we were over there. And I was at the school gates. I was sat at the principal's office. They said he wouldn't see me. I said he will.
I know you.
And I sat there until I was seen. And I said, you either tell me that my son's going to be safe here or I'm going to have to call the police. So when it comes to bullying, I'm very, it's not happening, not on my watch.
I agree, because with us, it's the third or fourth time that it has happened. I called my lawyer. I called my lawyer actually, and I said, "Can you please write them an email?" Because I've written them emails, I've talked to them, I've done the meetings and everything. Because I want to, I want to intimidate them at this point. I want them to take it
Yeah.
seriously. I want them, and he did. So we haven't heard back. I'll let
Oh,
you
I'm the
know.
first at the school gates. If there's anything wrong, I'm the first there. I even said that if they can't tell me that he's going to be safe in the schoolyard, then I will be sat in that schoolyard every single day.
I know. I know. I know. What's your
I turn
star sign?
into Mama Bear and just go.
Tiger mom, you're like, "Roar." No, but I get it. I 100%. What's your star sign?
Gemini.
Gemini. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. You had told me last time, but
I
Gemini. Yeah,
am Capricorn ascendant and Scorpio moon. So maybe
yeah.
it's the Scorpio moon that
Same. I remember because we both have
turns up
Scorpio
at the
moon,
gates.
and it is the Capricorn, because the Capricorn moms are very much, they're the empresses, right? They're the empresses of in tarot. So they're very much the nurturing, the protector, the one who's going to take care. So it makes sense because Geminis usually are not dragon moms or tiger moms. You're very easygoing, flowing.
Well, that's exactly what I am with the kids. But if anyone messes, then
Then
it's a.
Scorpio moon comes in, and
I
you're like,
actually, the boy that had done it, we were on the Spielplatz on the playground, and little one turned to me and said, Nate's, that's what I was just going to say, actually. Nate says to me, that's the boy. So
oh,
I had him, and he was only small. And I got the dog that is super small, and I ran. And this boy started running, and I ran, and I finally got to where he was, and his mom was there. And I says, is that your son?
What did you say?
Never happened again.
You with your little dog going like
Yeah, I had to
attack mode.
carry her in the end. So I'm carrying her, running.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do what we have to do to protect them. And by the way, it's interesting that you said it that I mean, it's a coincidence. It's not, it doesn't mean anything that your son was bullied, Nate was bullied in Germany. My kids go to a German school. And I find that even though they're very vocal about saying zero tolerance on bullying, yeah, when it comes to the nitty-gritty and when it comes to actually fighting off or doing something about bullying, they do nothing because they
I would
want to
say
appease everyone.
on the whole of the whole school education system in Germany, on the whole, there's not a lot of bullying.
I
Not as
agree.
much as I see in the
In
UK.
England, yeah, yeah.
But when it does happen, like you say, it's kind of brushed under the carpet.
Yeah, because it's all about like how the school's reputation, and it's to appease and keep the board because they have a board of directors and whatnot, to keep them happy and everything. But no, 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 no. They got the letter from the lawyer, and now we'll see what they're going to do about it. And I don't care.
Yeah, but what Jane says, she says he needs a sigil, and that's
Yeah,
what
you're right.
she creates them for the kids whenever there is anything, a little bit of empowerment, a little bit of help from above in those situations.
100%. Yeah. I always do energy work on him because he's a little psychic medium too. He's following my steps. So, and now I feel like it's starting to develop and it's coming out. But
But I think
yeah,
it's
you're
good to
right about the
show as
signal.
well that you can be a diviner, you can be empathic, you can be a channel, but you can still, when the time comes, set your boundaries on what's right for you and what you will tolerate in the world in which we live.
You're right. Absolutely. And we all learned the hard way. I learned the hard way when I was younger as well because I had no one to guide me and teach me with all that. Now, back to what we're saying about the digital world and the new surge or the new generation of readers and
Oh yeah, I
out
forgot
there.
about that.
Oh, yes. That's a
I
Gemini
moved on.
thing, Tony. That's such a Gemini thing.
The new generation of readers, there are a lot of readers out there who get very upset
Yep.
at other readers, get very upset at lack of ethics, etc., etc. Sorry. And there's a very big reason for that. And that's because we end up the people who are picking up the pieces for somebody who's had an awful read. I've had someone come to me and the only question they wanted to ask was, am I going to die this year? Because they'd been told by a psychic 5 years ago that within 5 years they're going to die. So the reason the hackle gets up is because we work really hard to make sure that we are ethical. We care about our clients. We care about how our students read as well, and make sure that they are ethically given the right information. So I understand why there's a lot of upset about that. On the other hand, it raises the profile of divination. And anything that raises this profile of divination and gets the word out there that tarot is a good thing for all of us, because it's mainstream, and it's not been mainstream before, but it's mainstream now, which means that that's given us a helping hand when it comes to acceptance of divination, etc. So again, it's a bit of a flip side on that as well. It has its good points, it has its bad points. When I first started out, I was kind of fired up because I hated it. I really, really didn't think it was fair. I really wouldn't give a message if I didn't think I was doing my very best. So at the beginning, it used to kind of irk me, and I maybe wrote a blog or two about it in the past, probably 10 years ago. But now I don't know. I think I've softened somewhat. And if they want to be doing fake readings, if they don't know their meanings, then that's entirely up to them. It is a case of us, we're all got a piece of business or piece of profile around the world. There's enough people in the world. So what's it matter if they've got more subscribers than us?
Right.
Just as long as we're working within that ethics that we want to work with that fits with us, let them do them.
I agree. Before I go on, because I want to continue on this topic a little bit, I just want to thank Margot for the super chat. You're very generous. Thank you very much, Margot. We really appreciate this. So I just wanted to say that because I was talking about TikTok, and that's where it's all at the moment, where you have scammers, readers, not great readers, psychic mediums that fearmonger people. It's accessible. It is accessible. But here's the thing. What is your advice to people who are seeking and looking for authentic, good readers?
I would ask them to tell you something about their system. I would ask them
Ooh.
to maybe ask them a question on the history of their system and see if they know what they're talking about. I would certainly ask them what their knowledge of tarot is. And if they said, I've known tarot for 30 years, that wouldn't cut it for me. I'm sorry. I would want a very direct answer on the system. But obviously, people who don't read tarot aren't
That's the thing.
afforded that because they don't
Yeah,
have that knowledge of tarot
exactly.
themselves. So I would honestly try and find readers who take themselves seriously and take the work that they do seriously, because the ones that drop in your inbox, no reader will ever send you a DM to say, do you want to
Exactly.
read? No decent reader will ever do that. We wait for the clients to come to us. We don't, put it out there. What did I get once? I got Grand Rising was the
Oh,
title of it.
enough
It
of the
was
Grand
from
Rising.
me, apparently. It's one of these scammers that
Yeah,
created a profile of me and then sent out mails to everyone. Grand Rising, as if I'd ever say that apart from here now.
they always start with, hello, dear, Grand Rising, and your ancestors are here talking to me, and they have a message for you. This is their spiel.
And
This is what
honestly, if a reader, and this may be controversial, but if a reader asked me for my astro sign, my date of birth, etc., I would know that they don't know as much as they're letting on to.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Although we have to say that all readers work differently, okay? We're not putting
Absolutely.
everyone in the same pot, just making it clear. There are signs that if you're, because the thing is, it's hard. People watch someone on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, right? They see a
Well,
reader, they see that
if
they
you're
have a
going for an
following.
astrological read, then that's something different. So
That's no, yeah.
if you're going for an astrological read, then absolutely you'll be given the date of birth, the time of birth, etc. But for a tarot reading, you see a lot of the scammers, these scam emails that you're getting through, and they're asking for that personal information. And actually, even if I didn't know your name, I would be able to read for you.
Exactly. You don't need anything. You don't even need to see the other person. If they give you permission to read them, even if they're across the world, then you can read them. You don't even need to know what they look like, what they feel like anything. I agree 100%. Because I'm going to bring up some of the questions. If anyone has questions in the chat, please drop them. I just want to add to that. What really upsets me, and I've seen that's been happening now on the social media world, and I'm sure you've noticed that too, Toni, with the US elections, because a lot of astrologers, readers came out and they gave their predictions, right, about the US elections before the elections. And I mean, you were going to get it either way. So those who predicted Kamala, that was me as well, including myself, they're getting all the flack and all the the backlash, if you will. If it was the other way around, those who had predicted Trump would have gotten the backlash. The thing is, what is happening now, and I've noticed it on TikTok. I have a love and hate relationship with TikTok, just so you know. Okay, I'm like very weary about it, but I'm still like on it, wasting a little bit of my time sometimes. um, but what I have noticed is now people are and I don't mean querents or people who are spiritual and who are into divination and all that. I'm just talking the regular people who follow readers or psychic and mediums are now attacking astrologers. They're calling it pseudoscience. They're calling people scammers. It's a mess right now. So that's the flip side of social media as well. What are your thoughts? I can hear the wheel.
You don't want to know my thoughts.
Oh, I do.
Honestly, if you went to your doctors and he started asking you about a political race, I don't think it has any part in what we're doing. If you want to read on politics in the public, then you've got to be able to take whatever backlash you get.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it is, at the minute, politics is extremely divisive, and it goes against everything that I believe in that I believe that we should all be nice to each other. I know it's a really, really like simple way to be, but I don't think politics should divide us. I think we should be stronger than that, come together and work on actually being a community in the world rather than all this divide. The world is so screwed up at the minute with the wars that all that energy, that negative energy that fear, anger and all of that is already heightening what everybody's feeling, what everybody's experiencing. So then for politics to be put on the pedestal as well, is just breeding hate at the minute. So I think it's entirely up to everybody if they want to post on politics. But I would rather have a much simpler way of being, which is that we're just all nice to each other. So I don't read on politics. I read it for it personally, but I don't share on social media. Just like I don't share my political views on social media because they're mine, they're private to me. And I remember with Brexit at the time, I was living in Germany, and Brexit was this just huge shit show in the UK where families were bickering even, and all my family voted for Brexit. And I could have posted, I could have posted my spreads about it and everything, but I actually wanted to keep my friends. I wanted to keep my family. So I kind of put that above what my politics were because it was more dear to my heart. But I may get even slated for saying that. I think that's a great question.
I know, that's why I brought it up.
Question. Honestly, bullshit is what I would say. If anybody, I have actually read for somebody and knew they were passing within the coming 4 months, and he knew that he was terminally ill as well. It's one of the first ever tarot readings that I did, and actually it was with my not first ever tarot reading, sorry. It was one of the first people I'd allowed from outside into my space. And it was with Tarot of a Moon Garden, and my death card actually turned black. It turned a dark, it's the only card in the deck that's turned a dark color. And we had a real honest conversation about it because he knew. But to say to somebody, oh, by the end of the year, you're going to be dead, I think that's kind of unethical. unless they are already going through something that they
Right.
want that advice on. I have a lot of
Right.
people who come to me with reads when they have cancer, for example, and they're going through the treatments. So there's a time and place and an honesty required if that's what the person needs. But only you can only do that if you are 100% certain on the read. So this is why I'm so like strict with my teaching methods, because Lenormand, for example, there are specific cards that you need nearby to confirm that, and it's probably about 6 or 7 cards I have in the mix that have to land together in that placement. It's very rare. I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times, and out of those, say it's 4 times, I have spoken about it on 3, and the other one was somebody who was close to me who really wasn't ready for that.
Ooh. Ooh. And it's also it comes it's up to the reader. If you're looking for that information, you can get it. I mean, me being a psychic medium as well, working with guides and spirit, I don't go about looking for that information. It has come up. It has come up, but similar to you, it has come up in readings when I've been reading someone who's already sick or chronically sick, or there's something. It's not like you see an accident, you're going to have a car accident next week and you're going to die. No, it's not. And it comes down to the reader at the end of the day as well. So it's as you said, for you, you've been doing this for so long, you've only seen it, or it's only come up a few times.
Well, that read with the tarot when it changed color,
that's
that
spooky, yeah.
was I was only in my 20s, I think then, I'm 49
Wow.
now. So it doesn't come up that often, really, because imagine how many people would have to come to you who are actually going to die.
Sure.
That's rare anyway.
That's true.
So it's not like everybody turning up at your door has only got a year to live. That's a very rare and a serious, very serious health read. So it just, sorry, I was looking at something there in the comments. You've got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you've got to know what you're doing. And that's why it's imperative that you go to someone that you feel that you can trust them. Chemistry is everything, just like with your therapist, your OBGYN. It's all about chemistry as well. Sometimes a reader can be a great reader, but not for you, not a great reader for you.
Absolutely. And that's
So,
why I always says there's enough readers in the world for everyone. And there's enough place in the
100%.
world for us all.
100%. And now, with the age of Aquarius, with Pluto entering Aquarius, actually, we're going to become the spirit influencers. Beauty influencers, fashion influencers are out. We're in. It's true. That's something that
I don't think I've got the energy to be an influencer.
I'll help you. I'll help you. Meaning I'll be in the background doing my marketing for you, because I mean more people should really should take part in your courses and be part of this amazing community that you've built.
Well,
And
I'm going to
speaking
sound,
of, yeah, go on. Sorry.
big-headed, but seriously, our the way I set up the World Divination is that our courses are cheap. So
It's
I
true.
didn't want people to be priced out. I mean, you can pay thousands of pounds for a course,
Sure.
but we and all the teachers, it's not just me. I mean, we have Maria teaching tarot. I teach tarot as well. Jane teaches tarot. Jane teaches runes and Ogham. We have David teaching cartomancy. We have a new teacher coming along to teach TDM, Tarot de Marseille. I teach Lagrange, Lenormand, pendulums, spiritual mediumship. We teach psychic development, all the things.
All of it, yeah.
But we do it in a way that if I had to do a course, I'd find it easy to work along with, bite-sized pieces rather than theory, and actually
Agree.
laying cards together. So I do think what we've got is something special in that we try and aim it at the reader and how practical the read can move through then to intuition. So I do think, I'll give myself a pat on the back, but also all the other teachers at World Divination as well, and all the great speakers we have. But I've also got a great many beautiful friends in the divination community too.
And that's beautiful. As I said, you've created a beautiful community and it's growing and growing, which leads me to my next question. What are the next projects you're working on? What's in the horizon for you, for WDA?
All the things. I've got a list of all the things.
Yeah, there's a lot of ideas with little time, right?
Yes. Like I said, I've got the tarot book coming out with Red Feather Tarot Tableau in March. And so as far as that's the first book that's coming out, I have another system coming out with Wiser, which is actually based on the superconscious, conscious, and subconscious. A deck and a system that I worked with Carrie Paris on. So that's coming out it's probably around March too, so early on next year. So that's two on the pipeline, but then I'm also writing a few behind the scenes too.
Oh, so exciting.
And we have 3 conferences next year. We have Lenormand Summit, which is purely Lenormand, and that's always in June. We then in July have Divination Pride, which is a free event with which celebrates the diverse divination community that we have, and we have LGBTQ speakers on, and we raise money for a charity. And then again, Big Bang in November, like we're doing next week. So we've always got something on.
There's always something on. That's why everyone, you have to follow Toni as well and go onto her website. Again, you'll find it down in the description box and check out what's in the horizon, what's in the pipeline.
We've got some freebies coming up too. We've got a free Kipper session if you want to open your eyes to Kipper. We've got free runes tomorrow night. Jane's running that. And free Berlin if you want a new system. Berlin, Maria is doing a free workshop.
I might give that a go. I might. When is it? Is it tomorrow? The Berlin one?
Runes is tomorrow. Berlin is beginning of December.
I'll definitely sign up for that one. Definitely. And the Kipper one, since I'm learning and I have my Kipper and everything. Just also Big Bang, which is next weekend, which is the WDA, the World Divination Association conference. It's also called Big Bang. Give us a little bit about the lineup, because this is exciting.
Honestly, by the end of the weekend, I am always in tears because I am always so proud of the divination community. We have, like I say, about 25 speakers. You're on, of course. We have the incredible Rana George, who just made it out of Lebanon, close friend of ours, and she was in the war zone. She's just made it home and she's going to be live. Bjorn Møris is a Lenormand. That's Alexa telling me that I have to do something. Technology. I'm getting my reminder. Bjorn Murris is on, who's a Lenormand expert. He's not been around for about 2 years, and he's back now. We've
Stephen
got
Bright, Teresa Reed, Mary Kay
no,
Greer. No, isn't it
no.
Teresa?
Mary Kay Greer is on.
I
Absolutely.
love her. I love her books. Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Kay is on. We have a paranormal expert on for one session as well. So many. We've got house talent, the WDA speakers. But I think we've got how many keynotes? I think we've got 8 keynotes this time.
Wow.
Christiana Gaudet.
Yeah, Christiana Gaudet is amazing as well. Yeah.
Yes, there's 8 of them.
So it's
Big names.
superstars,
Mm.
superstars, and I can't wait. And I feel so blessed and nervous to be among these huge names in the divination community. I don't know if the chat has any questions, because we know that Alexa just reminded Toni that she has something to do or somewhere to be.
It's to give the dog a tablet.
Speaking of technology, that's why we love technology.
Yes.
Because it reminds us when to give our dogs its medication.
Exactly. We use it for everything.
I know, I do as well. For everything. Me being an Aquarius, though, obviously I love anything. I love gadgets, technology, anything that's like the future. I love it. If there are any questions anyone would like to ask, otherwise, you guys, maybe Toni will be back again and we can talk about something else next time. It would be lovely whenever you have time. I know you're stressing because you have a lot on your plate right now.
Never show stress. That's the thing. Capricorn ascendant. Never show stress.
And Gemini, always looking at things, always looking at the bright side of life. That's a Gemini. And you're very resourceful.
Live in a world of butterflies most of the time.
Oh yeah, bold colors, butterflies, and generally you're resourceful as a Gemini.
My desk says that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have another Capricorn in the house. Jam is a Capricorn. There you go. But well, I think that's it for today. This was wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to come on.
You're very welcome.
I really enjoyed this. It was I wish we had a lot longer, but obviously you're busy. We're all busy. It's late over here where I am. It's 10 o'clock at night. You've got to give your dog its medication.
I have.
And plus you have, the next week is going to be crazy for you, crazy busy with everything going on for the Big Bang conference.
Yeah, it's about 3 weeks of craziness.
But you have a good, solid team, though.
Yes, but the thing that we've done this year is wait to the last minute and then decide that we're going to do it. So in true Gemini fashion, most of the conferences happen that way, and I have 3 weeks then to get everything done. But that pressure is what I need to actually do it.
Yeah, but sometimes that pressure is what makes us super productive and actually things turn out great, So I find myself that when I pre-plan or take too long to plan something, usually always something goes wrong in the end. I'm a bit a last minute person too.
If I plan, it is to cancel. If I've got too long, then I cancel.
You're such a Gemini.
Yes.
I get that too as an Aquarian, though. I cannot.
But the good thing is, I have my partner Jane, who is Aries, and keeps me on, well, as close as she can.
Oh no! Jane Aries is very much like she keeps you on track. That's for sure. Absolutely. And you living in Germany, I don't know how you did it. I could not deal with this. In Austria and Germany, and the German culture, it's like when you want to meet someone or when you want to do something, you have to plan it a month ahead. I was like, I don't know if I want to.
Oh yeah, I made it very clear to my friends that I don't do that. So they took me as the English woman and thought it was an English quirk. So I kind of got accepted anyway, even though I wouldn't plan anything.
No, I wouldn't plan either. I would be like, if you've got time, if you can fit me in, tell me last minute, give me 3 days notice, I'll be there, but don't give me 3 months
Ask me on
notice.
the day, or it's going to be a cancel.
I'm with you on that. I think that's an air sign thing that we have.
Yes.
Yeah, Jam says she knows because I have Germany. Even with play dates, you guys, it was terrible. I would be like, do you want our kids to play? Do you want to come over for a play date? And they would whip out their phone. And they're like, yeah, I'm available on the 23rd of March. It was November.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't think my
Well,
kids.
they always said, "What are you doing in 2 weeks?" I says, "I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Never mind in 2 weeks."
I know, but anyways, it is as it is. We survived. I mean, we survived the planning part of it
We
all.
did.
Well, Toni, this was an absolute pleasure. I wish you a calm, peaceful week ahead.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you at the conference at the Big Bang. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you to Jane as well for being in the chat. Okay. Oh, okay. They're talking in the chat between them. It's fine. Thank you so much. So, everyone, thank you for joining us. I'll be back on Sunday for my usual Sunday live. Hope to see you there. Till then, have a wonderful weekend and see you on Sunday, everyone. Bye.